now. So the elections have come and gone. The president has doubled down and said security will be a big issue. Maybe starting with the Delta region and given the threat that we've heard from the Niger Delta Avengers, your perspective on the security of the Delta region, would you say it's an uneasy calm? Do you think that these threats are real?
Well, the threats we have right now are just threats for now.
But do you see vulnerability in the area?
Well, there is a lot of vulnerability, especially in Nigeria. You can say an uneasy calm across the country because a lot of people are not very happy about the outcome of the elections. And there are a lot of people that feel that let's take it easy and move on as a nation. But these pockets of threats, of course, even before the election, Niger Delta Avengers have come up to say one or two things. I don't think they are very, very serious. I don't think they're going to carry it forth. Again, it depends on...
But are all installations in the Delta region better secured today? Because it's quite interesting that over the last at least a year or so, we haven't heard of any attack in the region.
Yeah, well, it's not a matter of being better secured. It mainly depends on the negotiation with the communities in there to allow extractive business to go on. So I think they've been able to talk to the people, you know. But one important thing is that the solution to security in the Niger Delta is done in a wrong way, whereby they throw money at it and feel that when people take money, they will keep quiet for a while. But that's going to last for a while. And then after that money, then they come back again. So I think they have to strategize in solving a long-term solution to the problem of security in the Niger Delta.
All right, but moving away from that, and you mentioned the elections, obviously it's very emotional. We've already heard of some skirmishes across the countries, even with fatalities. Yes. Your perspective on what is likely to happen, we still have another election in a couple of days.
Yes.
Do you get the sense that the risk of post-election violence is still real?
Well, it depends on how this government now, should I say the present president, how he handles the situation, because the second one is going to be more bloody if we don't take time, because a lot of people were taken by surprise, especially the opposition. The opposition was taken by surprise. There were military people that were supposed to go and help in making sure that ballot box snatchers don't come to disrupt the election and everything. But the resultant effect, or what we found out, was that these same military people, you know, were technically trying to project a federal might kind of situation. So there are a lot of people that are going to say, is this going to repeat itself in the next elections? And they might be very, very ready for it. You know, so I think the president now have to do some palliatives to make sure that democracy takes its course. You know, what has happened here is that we are trying to manipulate the outcomes of democracy, you know, where people cannot exercise their franchise.
All right, and let's go back to the issue of the herdsmen crisis, which is, one can say, is either underreported or there's actually been some there's some improvement in that respect, even though we've heard of some herdsmen, well, alleged herdsmen attacks in the last few days. But your perspective on that issue, because clearly it was a much bigger issue.
Yeah, before the election, it was a very, very big issue. But apparently they took some kind of hiatus in between during the election period.
Would you say that was as a result of improved security, surveillance, intelligence, or what do you think was the reason for that?
I don't believe strongly. I don't believe that it is security that deterred them. I think they were busy, you know, trying to either see what is happening, be part of the spectators of what is going on, Of course, Boko Haram, you know, was not relaxing. Boko Haram was actually going ahead with their operations in, you know, bombing cities and attacking in the northeast. But the bandits in some Zamfara state or even the Herdsmen thing calmed down. Apparently, they were maybe watching the situation to see, you know, the outcomes of what is going to happen.
And you just mentioned Boko Haram, and we need to touch that as well. So,
Yes.
it's an issue that has been with us for well over 10 years now.
Yes.
Not significant progress, although many will argue that there has been some progress as well. But because we continue to see their impact in several states, not just one, many will suggest that we still have a long way to go in really curbing that insurgency. So your perspective on the way forward in dealing with that?
I think the president have to now look at it squarely in the face, because that was one of the campaign promises that brought him in the first time, where he said that he's going to face Boko Haram, and then he's going to face the economy and then corruption. Those three things, Boko Haram being the major issue then in terms of security. But some ministers hurriedly came to say that it was technically defeated, and later they come to find out that, no, that's not the case. You don't defeat insurgency technically, you know. So you can decimate them, and I think there's a lot of problems that we've been having. But I think next year, the war against Boko Haram is going to be more serious. Remember, we ordered for some Tucano helicopters from the United States, which are going to be delivered next year, you know, and if those ones come in to, you know, boost the armory of the military, we should be able to, you know, decimate them. I don't believe in technically, you can't defeat an insurgency.
All right. So we've spoken about, if you like, the most common issues when we are speaking about insecurity in the country, but is there anything out there that you think that is festering that could potentially be a big challenge? Because one of the things that many will always point to is that given the level of poverty in the country, it's really a breeding ground for all types of problems and social upheaval. Yes. Do you get the sense that there's anything else brewing out there?
A lot of things are brewing right now, and I think, you know, setting the agenda for the new government is very, very important, whereby they have to. Now, let's say that the first term that the president had was to consolidate or to, you know, put things in place. And now the second term, according to how they call it, the next level, we expect that that level is going to start solving problems. There's a lot of poverty in the country. There's a lot of poverty. And then unemployment, you know. You can decide to say you have saved a lot of money in the federal foreign reserve and stuff like that, but you cannot be saving a lot in foreign reserve while your people are hungry or unemployed. You know, so there is need, you know, like he said, he's going to restructure the economy. Restructure it in such a way that people could have a feel and live a good life. You know, taking all the money and putting them in the TSA accounts and not doing much about the economy, I don't think is helping anybody. So addressing those issues.
But can you be more specific when you say that some issues are festering? Well, what risks do you see in what part of the country?
You see, when there is unemployment, a large number of, check all the universities in Nigeria producing graduates, and these graduates are out there not doing anything. This is a potential problem for any country, because now you have trained some minds that can think very well, and then you don't give them anything to do, and that will be the devil's workshop right there for you. You know, so unemployment has to be addressed and get people to go back to work. Otherwise, I think there's going to be a security problem coming from that.